Healthy eating to me is not the end goal. Healthy eating is like the catalyst to unlock your life.
I remember just sitting there and being like, okay, let myself have this moment and pull myself together and keep moving forward and it's gonna be okay. But it's okay to have those moments where you're like, this is freaking hard.
And where you genuinely question, like, can I do this?
Can you do this?
Welcome to the Empower Podcast, where wellness meets real life and empowerment becomes your way of being. I'm your host, Sam.
Miss Olivia, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited. I
Same.
think this is like so long overdue. I've been so excited to have you on and I've just been patiently waiting because you have all the things going on in your life. A little new baby that we've added to the mix. How old?
She is almost 6 months.
Oh my goodness.
And I know the last time that we connected about doing a podcast, I was like super pregnant. And I was like, I would love to do this. Don't take this as a no. It's just a not now. Like, I'm feeling mad pregnant. I need to maybe do it when
Trust me, I like totally understand. I remember being pregnant, like towards the end, you're just like, you can't even think properly.
Oh no. And that has not really gotten better.
Yeah.
I feel
right.
like my mom brain is at max capacity right now. But it's great. I'm glad to be here and we're going to have a great mom to mom conversation.
I love it. I love it. Well, I always love bringing on women that just kind of tackle everything when it comes to like motherhood and career and thriving in, marriage, relationships. And I think a big takeaway too is just hearing different perspectives on how people balance it all, because it always looks different to every single person. But you seem to be doing it quite well. So I want to dig into it all. Okay, first, take me back to the beginning, because I found you originally through Instagram and all of your amazing recipes and videos. And how did that all get started? Because you were like in corporate world, right? Like nutrition, recipes, cooking, that wasn't always your thing.
No, I was working at PricewaterhouseCoopers in corporate consulting or public accounting, whatever you want to call it. I had been an accounting major, so just a very different background from what I'm doing now. But I always had this interest in nutrition and food because I had really acne-prone skin. I still have acne-prone skin. I'm just able to manage it now. But how that acne showed up for me was due to my diet. So I learned about clearing my skin through the food I was eating. And I just started sharing recipes that aligned with this new gluten, dairy, and refined sugar-free diet that I had been eating to clear my skin. And I learned that not only did I love cooking, making recipes, but I also love the storytelling of it. So to paint the picture, I'm working my corporate job. I'm working like crazy hours. I had no control over my time, my schedule. I was just thinking the other day about how I was working under the specific director who would like exclusively call me after hours. Like, it was only ever when I was eating dinner or like on a walk with Kyle, but I could never get a hold of him during the day, during work hours. So I just felt like I had no control of my time. And Kyle and I really started to dream about what it would look like to have time freedom. I feel like that's such a buzzword, but like to really be able to control our time, to be able to work from home, because I was already looking at, the lives of the people in my profession, the women specifically, and they just seemed so upset to be like leaving their children for such extended hours and not having control of their schedules and just being expected to work even when they were home with their kids. And it just wasn't a life that I wanted. So Kyle and I really started dreaming about what it would look like to pursue a career that gave us more flexibility, allowed us to work from home, and could someday be a really healthy environment to raise children. And around that time, I was cooking. It was during the pandemic. So I was cooking every night from home, which was not something I had gotten to do when I was traveling for work. And I just started sharing content about it and loved the storytelling of it, loved creating content. It really just like tickled my creative brain. And working in a very black and white field like accounting, doing something totally different that was creative, I just realized, oh, that is so much more my lane. I've been trying to force myself into this very rigid black and white world when I want to live over here in color. And
yeah. Oh, I love the way you phrased that.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. I decided at the end of 2020 to quit my corporate job and start pursuing content creation. And mind you, I had no following. This was
Okay.
just like,
Did you start from like a personal account?
I did.
And then you're just like, I'm sharing things for my friends and family. Yeah.
Yes. And one thing I really resonated with about your story of starting to do content creation is initially when you're posting, these people did not ask for any of this.
Okay, you get it.
Oh, I totally get it. It's like friends, family members, or like people once removed from your life.
Yeah.
And suddenly you're going from sharing, maybe your birthday post or Kyle and I on a trip in Mexico. And now it's like, I'm getting 3 recipes from you every week. Well, I'm not even into recipe content. Like, I don't want to see this. Oh, you're trying to become a content creator. You're trying to become an influencer. There's definitely a season in the beginning that is very humbling and a little embarrassing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think being able to move through that fear or move through that embarrassment has been it has unlocked so much for me because now it's a mindset that I take into every endeavor.
So let me ask you this really quick. What specifically helped you get through those like moments of fear and embarrassment, pushing through, like continuing to post? Like, do you just have that mentality and personality to keep going, or what was it specifically?
I think there's a little bit of that, but I would say there are 3 things that really helped with that. One, I have to give Kyle so much credit because he was always in my corner. And for those listening, Kyle's my husband. He is always in my corner. He was always my number 1 cheerleader. He's very entrepreneurial minded. So it was risky to him for me to like quit a job and pursue something that, I wasn't making any money from, but he loves a calculated risk. And he would always tell me like, there is nothing different or special about these people who are already, doing what you want to do. They've just been doing it and they committed and they persevered. And like, there's no reason you can't do that. So I have a very like, why not me mentality when it comes to anything in life. If someone else can do it, I very much feel like, okay, I can do that.
You can do it too.
Another thing was I had these affirmations or mantras that I would like always repeat over myself.
I'm such an affirmation girl.
Yes, it is.
So this speaks to me.
So
I love
powerful. It's so powerful. And I wish I could remember all of them, but it was simple things like everything you want is on the other side of fear. So I knew that if I could just overcome fear, then I would be in a really good place. And then another thing during that time and to this day, I always wanted to be a person that committed to doing hard things. So telling myself like, you are someone who does hard things was like so powerful. So that kind of falls into the same like affirmations mantra, but I was just like, I will do this. And yes, it makes me feel embarrassed to be posting to people who do not want to see this content and to not grow an audience. Like for me, it took 1.5 years to have any sort of significant growth.
Wow.
So it was a long time of just posting into what I felt like was an abyss.
Yeah. So in those, did you ever like feel like you had like moments of like, should I stop doing this?
There were times where I definitely questioned it. I mean, even from like just a financial standpoint.
Yeah, because if you weren't monetizing at a certain point.
For the longest time, I was spending more than I was making.
Yeah.
Which is easy to do when you're not making any money.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
anything more than 0. And then after I did start making some money, living in a city like Austin, it wasn't enough to, continue living here. So Kyle and I had a sit-down conversation. We had been living here for 3 months. And we were like, I don't know if we can make it here. Like, we might have to move back to, we had just come from Eugene, Like, maybe we should move back. We should continue doing real estate there. Maybe we're too small of a fish in this big competitive pond and like we can't make it. And then the next, I guess it was 2 months later, my content started going viral. And I'm so glad we didn't move back because I think Austin is the perfect community for us. It's very collaborative here. There are so many creators. There is so much entrepreneurship. So it's the perfect place for us. And I'm really glad that God kept us here. But there was definitely a time where I was like, okay, this is not paying the bills.
And I think we've all been there, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there's like that little voice inside of you that says like, keep going. And to your point, like with Kyle, like being able to have support, which I have that with Ian now. It's like having somebody in your corner to say like, keep going. like you're doing a great job and helping you with strategy and just being like a part of your team makes the difference, like so much of a difference.
Oh, totally. And to feel like you truly have like a partner in this job too, because it can be very isolating.
Yeah.
So when you're working by yourself at home, and no one really understands what you're doing,
Yeah.
it's nice to have, you know, if it's your husband, fiance, whoever, like just so amazing to have them in your corner, understanding what you're doing, there to encourage you every day. It's been life-changing.
Okay, so what was it that made you go viral?
If there's one thing every woman I know has struggled with at some point, it's sleep. And not just I'm tired, but the kind of tired where your brain feels puffy, your stress is higher, your workouts feel harder, and your cravings are insane. And honestly, you can't remember the last time you woke up truly rested. And I mean truly rested. And the crazy part, a lot of that is not your fault. It's the way we sleep. Light exposure, mouth breathing, poor recovery, disrupted REM, it all adds up. And that's why I'm obsessed with Dream Recovery Mouth Tape, the sleep experts who make tools that actually help you get deeper, better quality rest. And their mouth tape has been a game changer for me. I honestly couldn't believe how much better quality sleep I was getting. If you follow me on Instagram, you may have seen me sport the full mouth tape or even the strips, which I really like. And if you're new to mouth taping, the smaller strips are a great place to start while you get used to it. If you've been feeling burnt out, inflamed, puffy, emotional, super tired, or like your recovery just isn't what it used to be, better sleep might be the missing piece, and specifically mouth taping being the tool to help you get there. Dream Recovery gives you the tools to take back your nights so our bodies can finally heal, reset, and actually show up the next day feeling like ourselves again. So shop dreamrecovery.io and use code SAM15 for 15% off. That's dreamrecovery.io and use code SAM15 for 15% off site-wide.
I have said it before and I'm going to say it again. When your gut is off, everything feels off. Your digestion, your energy, your mood, your focus, it all starts in your gut. And every day your body is dealing with stress, it's dealing with processed foods, and everything life throws at it. And guess what? Your gut takes the first hit. When your gut isn't supported, you feel it everywhere. And that's why I trust Just Thrive Probiotic. Most probiotics don't even survive the journey to your gut, which is why they don't work. But Just Thrive is clinically proven to arrive 100% alive and deliver real measurable results. And it does something no other probiotic can. It turns your gut into an antioxidant factory. It creates protective compounds exactly where your body needs them the most. Just Thrive Probiotic comes in capsules or berry-flavored gummies, so there's something for everyone. And I love the gummy. It feels like a daily treat that's actually good for you. So here's my challenge. Try Just Thrive Probiotic for 90 days, risk-free. Visit justthrivehealth.com and save 20% with promo code SAMCFIT. See the difference for yourself or get a full product refund, no questions asked. Take the 90-day Just Thrive Probiotic Challenge today at justthrivehealth.com/SAMCFIT. Be the best you with Just Thrive.
There were 3 videos that took off kind of at the same time. And they took off first on TikTok, which was not my primary platform of focus. At this point, I only had like 4,000 followers. So there wasn't really like a main platform at the time. But I had these 3 videos go viral on TikTok. One was an avocado egg salad. One was a corn salsa. And one was shrimp tacos. So just like
all great meals.
Yeah, delicious. But just there was nothing specific about those that was any different from my regular content. So I was like, I don't really know why these are going viral. And then it was so strange because Instagram then wanted in on the fun. So 3 weeks later, those same videos started going viral on Instagram. And that's when I really started to gain a following.
Yeah.
And that was when I went from 4,000 to 100,000 followers in a little over a month. And it was like,
that's insane. Wait,
changed
what?
Everything. It was wild. Every day I was like, what is happening? Like, this is so crazy. And I remember Kyle and I going to Clark's Oyster Bar to celebrate 10K, because at that time, 10K was the swipe up.
Yes.
So you could finally start linking things and like monetizing that way.
Monetization is big at that point.
Yeah. So 10K was like this huge milestone for me.
And then you hit 100K.
And then like 3 weeks later, it was 100K. And I was like, what the heck is going on?
That's incredible. I know for me, it was like my growth happened kind of like overnight.
Yeah.
And I've shared that story, but like,
It was your marathon video.
yeah, it was my
Yeah.
marathon video. But what's funny is that like when it went viral, like blew up, it was like within 24 hours, like I had gained like 10,000 followers or
Oh my
something
gosh.
crazy. But during that time, that 24-hour period, I had breast augmentation and was on like major drugs, obviously. And like, so I was like, what is happening? Like, so out of the loop, like
Yeah.
I was like, is this real? Questioning like the reality of it. But it is kind of like that out of body experience of just being like, what is happening?
Yeah.
Because you're kind of seeing like, I know it's just numbers to some people, but it also provides a lot of opportunity and doors that are opening. And just to be able to like, for you too, like I love your platform because you're truly helping people, right? In your own way. But it's like to be able to reach more people and be able to share what's helped you and benefited you in your life with others is pretty amazing feeling.
It is. And it definitely bothers me when people view like a community or whatever you want to call it, your follower account, as so fickle, because
Yeah.
every person matters. Every number
Yes.
is a person that you are helping in some way. So like it does mean a lot to grow a community, and it is something that I am so incredibly proud of.
Yeah. And I love that you said community. I'm so big on that. Like, I really don't like the idea of like quote unquote followers,
I hate the word.
right? Because it's like followers, but like, no, these are my people.
Yeah,
This is my community.
Yeah,
Like, these are my girls.
exactly.
Yeah. So it's like you kind of have to reframe that.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So things started picking up and then it
Yeah.
just exploded for you.
And then it was kind of a cascade. So the timeline was 18 months to have any sort of growth at all. And then in another 18 months from that, I hit 1 million community members.
Oh my goodness.
So it was wild. Like, I feel really grateful.
In 18 months.
In 18 months.
My brain hurts just thinking about that.
And I was like grinding. Like I was working every day of the week, which is not something I'm touting because I do think that you should take time off. I was just like in this season where it was filling my cup so much
And
to
you
get
loved
to
it.
work. I
Yeah.
loved it. And I was getting to do it with Kyle. And that was another thing. Like within a few months of my account growing and picking up steam and starting to bring in real brand deals, I kept needing more and more of Kyle's time. So I was like crowding out what he was working on. And then eventually in January of 23, he came on and started working full time with me.
Okay, so what does he do with your brand?
So now I would say that he's like ops, finance, like marketing, all of the behind the scenes
Yeah.
stuff.
That's what Ian is like with me.
Yeah, he helps with coordinating with the website and with my Shopify and all these things that I feel like I cannot do if I also want to be
The creative
the
direction.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you feel like your corporate background kind of shaped the path you're on now?
I think it definitely helped. One of the things that I love about having that corporate experience is that I don't think most creatives come from that background.
Mm-hmm.
So I do have the experience of working in a very professional environment and managing clients and communicating in a corporate way. And let's be real, a lot of these brands that we're working with, they are corporate.
Yep.
So like they expect us to operate as, in their same corporate way. And I consistently get that feedback from brands that like, oh my gosh, you delivered your content on time. I'm like, well,
That's the expectation.
Exactly. It was in the calendar.
Right.
Like I very much live and die by my calendar. My emails are very professional. Like I love operating professionally. And as we have grown our team, that's also helped because there's a specific structure. There's an expectation of professionalism, and we know how to work within a team, which is really helpful because I think it's easy to be a solo contributor. And once you start to have to rely on people and to, give them work opportunities and to give them feedback, like all of these things were skills that I started to build in that corporate environment.
I completely feel that. And I was in corporate world for 10 plus years, and there's certain skill sets that I brought with me that I'm like, thank goodness for that experience. And, while I was in the corporate world, I was in medical field. I knew it wasn't like a forever thing. I just didn't know like what door God was going to open. And I was just patiently waiting. Like here I am now. And I'm so thankful for the time that I spent there, which led me to where I'm at. But I just knew that, okay, what I'm doing now, like there's something I'm going to take from this and apply later in my life. And I really do look back on that. And I'm like, especially with communication with like emails and, you know, contracts and deliverables and all the things with brands. Yeah. I'm like, I can't imagine being like 20 trying to read a contract, not having any experience.
No, I still hate it. And that is definitely something that Kyle is very helpful with. And like once I got an attorney that, oh my gosh, I'm like, I'm never looking at another contract
Game changer,
again.
I know.
Yeah.
It makes a big difference. Do you have a management team that does your brands or do you do it yourself?
So I work with BN the agency, they're my management, and then CAA is my agency. So I kind of have the duo of them.
That's nice to have a team that helps support you.
Oh my gosh.
Especially when it comes to like the legal side of things, and that stresses me out. My dad was a lawyer, so like I naturally am like, oh.
Yeah, so like you know that things can go wrong. Like first, when I didn't have management, I remember signing a contract that allowed the brand to white label my content for a year. I had no idea because it was my first time I'd ever seen anything about white labeling, which for the listeners is the brand's ability to use your content to run ads.
Mm-hmm.
I was seeing myself like in ads for a year and they paid me $100.
Yeah.
So it was like, I just did not expect that.
Which is crazy. It's
crazy.
Nothing. I know before I had a management team, I did like my own brand work for like 3 months. And let me just say, it's crazy when you get a management team, like how much more they can do for you versus from a monetary standpoint versus just going to direct, you know what I mean? And when you don't know the business, like I look back and I'm like, I could have probably asked for a little bit more money, but that's okay. Like, you know.
Yeah, representation definitely changes your life as a creator.
It really does.
That was one thing that, you know, when my account grew so quickly, I had no idea how to price my content. No idea what my rate should be. So that was really helpful, having my management come on and like start pricing things for me because I'm like, oh, thank God.
Do you ever feel like you have imposter syndrome? Do you deal with that?
All the time. And
Good to know I'm not alone.
Yeah. I actually use imposter syndrome as a guiding light. Like I will check in with myself. When was the last time you felt like an imposter? And if it wasn't anytime recently, like you need to push yourself a little more. Because I think I'm always going to feel imposter syndrome if it's something that I've never done before. Yeah. If I'm in a room with bigger, louder voices, more successful people, like if I'm not putting myself in those uncomfortable positions, then I'm not growing.
So you view it as like a good thing in
I do.
a way.
And I remember thinking like, I was actually telling my assistant Chelsea this morning. I used to get so insanely nervous for podcasts and I felt like such an imposter going on podcasts. Yeah. And now it's not that I don't get nervous at all because I think a good amount of nerves is healthy. You want to do a great job.
Healthy. Mm-hmm. I even get nerves doing this.
Yeah. And like, I think that's good. But I don't feel that same imposter syndrome. And it's because I've just barreled through it for the first like 5 podcasts.
I love that. I know. I feel like podcasts. I remember my first podcast and I was like, I pretty much blacked out the whole time.
Oh yeah, same. I couldn't tell you a single
thing.
And
it was a big podcast. And I was like,
what was it?
It was Savannah Chrisley.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That is a big first.
Yeah. And I was like, I don't know how to do this. Like, do I look at the camera? Do I look at, I was so not knowing what was happening.
So it was even video. It wasn't just audio. Oh my gosh.
And it was the day before they asked for me to come on. And I was like so nervous all night. I couldn't sleep. And
I bet.
But, I think this job I have, which I'm so fortunate to have, it's actually my favorite job of my whole brand, being able to like connect with amazing people like you, which in return connects to my entire community, which is so amazing. And it's like just a place to like learn together and grow stronger and better is so cool. But it's like you're just talking to a person at the end of the day. It's like that's how you have to view it. It's like you're just talking to another human.
Yeah.
But it
helps when the host is very good at their job. Like you're a very easy person to talk to and be on the other side of the mic from because it does feel just like a conversation.
Yeah. I'm just trying to like give Joe Rogan vibes, like conversation.
I love it. The female Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to pause the show and talk about the importance of essential amino acids. So last year, there was a point that between training, work, kids' life, and literally everything in between, I realized I could probably fuel my body a little bit more. And so I started taking essential amino acids. And you guys, the difference was insane. So noticeable. Here's the thing. Essential amino acids, they're the active part of protein, and your body absorbs them fast. There's no cooking, no digestion delay, no bloating. They work way more efficiently than protein powders or whole food protein, especially maybe when you're busy or you're eating less or in a caloric deficit. And Kion aminos are formulated with all 9 essential amino acids in the ideal research-backed ratios. They have no fillers, there's no sugar, no proprietary blends, and they mix right into water, and they actually taste good. They're so good. My entire family loves them. And the best part, they're easy on digestion. So especially with all the training I have going on with the Ironman, I've been taking them every single day, even on rest days. And I've just noticed better energy. There's faster recovery there, more consistency in my workouts. And I truly feel like I'm staying on track and protecting my muscle. So if you're trying to lose fat without losing muscle, or you want to feel stronger and just more fueled in your body, you need to try it. Go to getkion.com/Samantha for 20% off your order. If you're like me, not having to choose between preventing breakouts and preventing wrinkles is such a relief. And as someone who's constantly training, sweating, traveling more than ever, and just bouncing around between workouts and events, keeping my skin clear used to feel impossible, quite literally. I used to deal with hormonal flare-ups, congestion, and just skin that would react to everything, but ClearStem changed that for me. You guys have heard me talk about it. Truly love this brand. It's actually the first acne brand that connects internal and external skincare through supplements, topicals with no pore clogging ingredients ever, which I love. And what I found is that most anti-aging products actually break you out, and most anti-acne products, they age you. And I'm really excited to share that ClearStem has a new launch, the Glass Effect Instantly Hydrating Face and Neck Mask. Meet your new favorite sheet mask that not only supports your face, but your neck too. This mask creates a perfect canvas by smoothing the skin and fixing texture. It's super soothing. It's ideal if you have irritated skin from breakouts or just from harsh treatments. It's depuffing, hydrating, and plumping. And as always with ClearStem, no pore clogging ingredients whatsoever. Discover the ClearStem difference because clear skin changes everything. Go to clearstem.com/SamCFit and use code SamCFit at checkout for 15% off your entire first order. That's CLEARSTEM.com/SamCFit and use code SamCFit for 15% off.
Okay, I want to talk a little bit more about your specific content and like what you're putting out there when it comes to nutrition and the recipes. What I love about your recipes and your brand specifically is, it's all gluten-free, it's dairy-free, refined sugar-free. All the things that I think me having gone to nutrition school and just like with my own gut health journey, it's tied to so much, chronic disease, illness, but inflammation in the body. And you specifically, you saw that through acne.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me a little bit more about like that journey and how you were like, okay, I need to cut these things out?
Yeah. So when I really started getting bad cystic acne in college, it was affecting my social life, my personality. Like I didn't want to go to social events because I felt like I needed to cover my skin, or I would just shrink back in conversation and try to like hide my face.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was becoming a shrunken version of myself and of my personality. And I didn't want to be on medication anymore. I was taking, my dermatologist had put me on birth control and an oral antibiotic. And I just didn't want to be on those things anymore. So I started looking up holistic healing, holistic approaches to acne. And one of my favorite creators to this day is Sarah's Day. She's an Australian creator, and she had multiple YouTube videos at the time about healing her acne holistically. So I just started like binging her content, and I was like so interested in what she was doing. And she talked a lot about diet and learning like what food can trigger inflammation in your body. So that was when I first started to get really into cooking within that, like that gluten, dairy, and refined sugar-free lifestyle. And I saw immediate transformation in my skin, like specifically with dairy. That was like the next, because my acne would always manifest specifically during my cycle.
Yeah.
The next cycle, it was like completely different
When you cut it out?
when I cut it out.
did you have like certain parts of your face where it was
Yeah, it was like that hormonal
right
acne
here?
zone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like below, we're pointing if you're not watching.
like the
Or,
chin
the chin.
strap
The chin
area.
strap.
Yeah.
That's where I noticed if I eat dairy, which I do love dairy. I
I
try
know,
to
it's so good.
keep it minimal,
Yeah.
and try to get like good quality,
Yeah.
you know. But I noticed that like hormonal times,
Yeah.
like in my cycle.
Yeah, that was the biggest for me. And then I started to notice even that those hormonal breakouts wouldn't go away. They would just like get more inflamed during my cycle, but then they weren't leaving after a while. So I just knew I had to make a change. Didn't want to be on medication. Finding this diet just completely transformed my skin, and then therefore my life too, because I stopped shrinking back and shrinking myself because of my skin. And I never want anyone to think that like, oh my gosh, if you have acne, that makes you feel like you shouldn't be going to social things. Like, I wish I hadn't allowed my acne to make me smaller, but it was the reality of my situation at the time.
Right. And I'm sure too, though, like through nutrition, like your acne improved, but you probably felt better.
Oh yeah. I had no idea how much the food I was eating at the school cafeteria at the time was impacting like my gut health. Like, I had pretty much a chronic stomach ache. I just always had a stomach ache.
And you probably didn't realize how bad it was until it went away. Which is a
Exactly.
lot of people's reality. Like they don't realize how bad maybe their gut is or whatever until like they cut things out and then they're like, oh my gosh, I feel like a different human being.
Totally, it unlocks energy. I just felt like it unlocked a whole new life
Did you
for
cut
me.
out gluten, dairy, and refined sugar all the time? Like at one time?
Dairy was the first one to go. Dairy, refined sugar, and at the time it was like the big message was around hydrogenated oils. I feel like no one really talks about
Yes.
those anymore, but it's more like the seed oil conversation.
Seed oils. That's a big one for me in my
Mhm.
gut. I try to stay away from that.
Same. So I just went very clean.
Yeah.
And I know that that's not like a regulated term, so it can mean different things for different people, but very clean diet, focusing on whole foods or very minimally processed or brands that I trusted to use better for you ingredients.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I just started cooking most of my meals so that I could have more control over what I was eating, not eating out as often, which I was in college. I did not have the money to eat out anyway. So cooking was also just like financially responsible for me.
So my question to you is, all of your recipes, like the ones that I've made, I'm like, okay, hey, this doesn't take a lot of time, but you make it so much more fun than just like a boring plate of clean whole foods. Like, had you always cooked that way? And you were like, maybe I should just share this, or did you learn to cook that way?
That was another big thing for me. Like, how do I bring joy into healthy eating? And I like to say that my recipes live in like the Venn diagram of healthy, easy, and flavorful. Like, it's never going to be the absolute healthiest, I grew this myself meal. It's not going to be the most chemically processed, flavorful, you know, scientifically designed to light up your taste buds. And it's also not going to be the absolute easiest, pull everything out of the freezer and put it in a pan. But it's like that sweet spot of where those all marry. And my whole like ethos around making things simple is that healthy eating to me is not the end goal. Healthy eating is like the catalyst to unlock your life. Like, I don't want to spend my whole life, especially now that I'm a mom, I don't want to spend my whole evening in the kitchen cooking a 14-course meal. Like, I just don't have the time, and that's not like my priority right now. So I want a quick 30-minute one-pan meal that's going to have protein, complex carbs, some like really good vibrant veggies.
Yeah, good balance of everything.
Yeah, a good balance, some healthy fats, and then I want to go enjoy some time with my daughter. But I want to feel good. So like, eating healthy lets me be more present with my daughter because I feel good. I have energy.
And that's so important. And I'm sure the listeners right now listening are like, yep, we want that life too.
I'm sure that like, there's probably a lot of overlap within our communities because I think they're wanting like a lot of the same things.
Yeah, and it's hard too because, you know, I don't even know if I've even said this, but like, you know, 4 years back when I first started learning more about nutrition and holistic lifestyle and all the things, like I was really hardcore, like no to everything, like would barely ever go out, like super rigid. And I had to learn like, okay, I can pull back a little bit, because that's where, to your point, like you said the word joy, like that kind of spoke to me. It's like, we have one life to live. If you spend it so rigid and so strict with everything, it's like you miss that joy in those moments, you know? And so it's like I've had to learn how to create a healthy, balanced life where I'm not causing so much stress on my nervous system, because it's easy to do that in today's society, especially on social media, where you have people being like, you will die if you eat this, this, and this, and like, you have to cut out this and this. Like, I mean, I saw somebody online saying like, you can't eat any vegetables or else this will happen. And it's like, you know, but then on the flip side, it's like, don't eat protein because of this. There's always going to be like a certain message, but it's like, you got to find what works for you and just live a healthy, balanced lifestyle.
I definitely went through a season, I think so many of us can relate to this, where I was too rigid, and it took the joy out of eating. And I like to say that my best is not obsessed. Like, as soon as I'm getting too obsessive about something, it's stealing from other areas of my life.
Absolutely.
Like, it's maybe I'm thinking, I'm just going to use like a current day example. I don't personally struggle with this, but like, if I'm so obsessed about hitting exactly the amount of protein that I need every day, then it's taking the joy out of food. I'm like calculating things in my brain as I'm eating. I'm not able to go out with my friends because, oh, well, I don't know how much protein is in that. So it's just, the best version of me is not obsessive over any element of my life, whether it's like my business, what I'm eating, oh gosh, the baby topic. Like, you can get so obsessed about being the absolute perfect parent, perfect mom, which doesn't exist. But that's not going to ever be the best for me.
No. And I love your outlook. Like, I feel like you have such a good like head on your shoulders when it comes to all those things, because it can be overwhelming, especially like in the social media world.
Totally.
So with food, now that we've, stated, hey, we have a healthy, balanced lifestyle, do you have like any non-negotiables, like this or that, when it comes to the food that you eat?
A non-negotiable for me would be, if I'm going to be eating something daily, then I'm going to find a healthy swap for it. So something like a nut milk in my morning matcha.
Yeah.
I'm going to make it from scratch. Like, I love my creamy vanilla cashew milk. It's so good. It's so easy.
It doesn't take long to make.
No.
I feel like there's like this fear of like, oh, it will take so long.
Yeah.
It really doesn't.
No, you got to go for cashews, and then you don't have to strain them.
Yeah.
But if it's something that I'm going to be eating like super regularly, just find a healthy swap.
Yeah.
So like, I think peanut butter was one of the first ones that I did when I first started really trying to eat cleaner, because I was eating so much peanut butter, and they have such peanut butter.
Do you love peanut butter too?
I love peanut butter.
I definitely have an addiction to peanut butter. I
love that.
I switched over to cashew butter, and now I have an addiction there. So I don't know why it makes me feel better with the cashew butter versus the peanut butter. I think in a lot of peanut butters is like the toxins and the peanuts, depending on where they come from, and the oils and all that. But I love the butter family. Just saying.
I know. All the nut butters. I have to know, what is your favorite cashew butter brand? Because they have such a range in flavor.
Okay. So my top 2, I'm going to say this wrong. Artisana.
Oh, Artisana. Yeah.
Okay. That one's really good. And then Ree, that actually hosts Healthy Host podcast from Pursuit Network too. She got me on, is it Fig and Fog or
Yes.
Fog and Fig?
I think it's
something F&F. I have always gotten them at Whole Foods, Thrive Market too, but they don't have oils in them. It's just cashews and salt, but which is crazy because they do have different taste profiles, even though it's like the same 2 ingredients.
Yeah, I know.
Do you have a go-to?
Usually Artisana.
Okay.
Yeah.
That one's so good. And I love it with dates and sea salt.
Mm-hmm.
It is like my dessert every day.
Oh, I love that.
So good. I could just like eat a whole bag of dates.
Yeah.
But we're really throwing out all the addictions right now. Cashew butter, dates.
Yeah, what else? We're just finding everything at all.
Oh my goodness. I mean, okay. So I do want to talk bread with you.
Okay.
Because I feel like there's a lot of like thoughts on like different types of breads. And like, I love sourdough. I try to get the like sprouted just because there's like barely any trace of gluten in there. But like, if you had to pick like, hey, a good bread to go for, do you have any good suggestions you can share?
I also love sourdough.
Okay.
It's like,
Does your gut do fine with that?
it does.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I noticed like, so for me with gluten, I'm not celiac. I just have a gluten sensitivity. And when I will eat like a delicious pasta or a sandwich not made with sourdough or whatever, I'm so tired. It like knocks me out.
It's wild.
It's wild. So I stopped eating gluten mostly for that reason, because I didn't want to feel brain fog anymore. I didn't want to feel tired. When I eat sourdough, I don't feel any of that.
Yeah, I don't either.
And there's this really good brand. It's local Austin, so I can't really help your listeners that are
maybe
in
they
Austin.
ship.
I know
I
maybe
don't
they
know.
ship, but it's called It's All Good, and
Okay.
they make sourdough, but they also make a gluten-free sourdough. It is the best gluten-free sourdough I've ever had.
Well, I'm here, so I'm gonna have to.
Yeah,
maybe
you should
pick
get a
this-
loaf.
Yeah, take it with me on the plane.
They have it at Radius, like not far
Yeah.
away from here.
I'll also say like shop your local farmers market. Like usually it's organic and all different variations of sourdough. But yeah, sourdough's one I love. But there's mixed reviews with the whole like gluten aspect. So
Yeah, I think if you're like super sensitive to gluten, it's probably one that you still have to stay away from. But I started dabbling in sourdough, not making it myself, but just like introducing it more into my diet, because for the longest time I was like very strict on no gluten. Started introducing it, didn't notice any brain fog, tiredness, and I was like, oh, thank God, this is the best.
It is cool though when you can be intuitive with yourself. And that's why I always suggest like if there's any listeners that are like, okay, maybe I feel some of these symptoms, cut out, maybe start with dairy. Then add in gluten or whatever else. And when you feel those symptoms go away, it is crazy. Like if you do try like one of those things, like pasta, like you said, and you notice how you feel, like it's crazy when you've cut it out for a while and add something back in. You can kind of target like maybe what it would be. And that's how you kind of know to maybe limit it or stay away from it. Because I'm the same way with pastas. We went and ate some Italian a couple weeks ago. And like I just felt heavy and like mentally not there. And so it is wild.
I know, it's such a bummer. We went to Paris 2 Christmases ago, and I was like, I am not going to offend the French culture and like ask for any substitution.
They will get mad at you. Apparently, I've never been.
Already
but...
like hated us going in, and I'm like, I'm not going to order so to make them hate us more. But I had a stomachache the entire trip.
Did you really?
The entire trip.
Stop.
But like the food was delicious. But I'm like, oh, it just gave me such gratitude for the way that I eat in my regular routine.
Yeah, it's like a sense of empowerment too.
Totally.
This episode of the Empower Podcast is brought to you by Wild Grain. Wild Grain is the first bake from frozen subscription box for sourdough breads, artisanal pastries, and fresh pastas. And unlike many store-bought options, Wild Grain uses simple ingredients that you can actually pronounce and a slow fermentation process that can be easier on your belly and richer in nutrients and antioxidants. Plus, all items conveniently bake in 25 minutes or less with no thawing required. Wild Grains boxes are fully customizable. In addition to the variety box, they have a gluten-free box, vegan box, and a new protein box. And what I love about Wild Grain is how it fits into real life. I always keep their sourdough loaves and croissants stocked. Everything just tastes like bakery fresh. The quality is amazing, and it makes it so much easier to have a real nourishing food at home, even on my busiest days. Imagine having fresh bakery quality bread, pastries, and pasta at home without any trips to the store. And don't take my word for it. They have over 40,000 5-star reviews and have been voted the best subscription box by USA Today for 3 years in a row. So for a limited time, Wild Grain is offering our listeners $30 off your first box plus free croissants for life. When you go to wildgrain.com/SamCFit to start your subscription today, that's $30 off your first box and free croissants for life when you visit wildgrain.com/SamCFit, or you can use my promo code SamCFit at checkout. If there is one thing I have learned over the years about training is that training hard doesn't just stress your body, it stresses your nervous system, your sleep, and your recovery, which is the most important. And I learned the hard way that if your sleep is off, everything else is off too. As you guys know, I was clenching my jaw at night, and it was affecting how I slept, how I recovered, and how I felt in the morning. And that's why I made it a non-negotiable to use my Remy night guards every single night. Remy's custom night guards are clinically tested to protect your teeth from grinding. They reduce jaw tension and facial muscle strain and also improve sleep quality, which has been huge for my recovery. But truly what I love most about Remy is that you get dentist level quality and comfort, but for around 80% less and without the hassle. So there's no appointments, there's no waiting rooms, no surprise bills, and you can even use your HSA or FSA at checkout, which I love. So let me tell you how it works. They send an impression kit straight to your door and you make your custom mold. You send it back and then Remy crafts your night guard and ships it straight to you. It's honestly a better way to protect your teeth and just support deeper and better sleep. So try Remy risk-free. Go to shopremy.com/CMCFit and use code CMCFit to get up to 50% off your night guard at checkout. That's 50% off at shopremy.com/CMCFit with code CMCFit. Thank you, Remy, for sponsoring this episode.
Do you have a favorite recipe of yours?
Oh.
If somebody was like, I need to try one of Olivia's recipes today.
One of the ones I make the most often is chuck roast tacos. It's probably
I
pinned at
need
the
that
top of
one.
my Instagram right now, but it's one of my most popular recipes. It's so simple, and that's probably why I make it all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just delicious. It's like,
easy. Well, now that you're a mama.
I'm like, I need easy.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about that. How has like your career and your way of living when it comes to fueling yourself nutritionally, has that changed at all now that you've entered motherhood?
I feel like you're catching me at a good time because my baby girl is almost 6 months old. For the first 3 months, it was such survival. I was like not nourishing myself properly.
Yeah.
It was just about like survival.
Yeah.
Like I
Taking
just
care
need
of her
calories
Yes.
at this point. I wasn't cooking. I was like living off of lactation bites.
But can we talk about how good those are?
They're so insanely good, but like should not be the majority of your diet.
Right.
But I gave myself a lot of grace during that early postpartum season. And I'm grateful that I wasn't like too hard on myself, too rigid. Now that I'm getting back into cooking and really fueling myself in a way that like aligns with what I want out of life, I am grateful that I started this trajectory of effortless healthy recipes because that has helped me so much in new motherhood. It wasn't like I had to learn how to cook quick, delicious, satisfying meals. It was like, okay, the framework is already there. Now I can actually use it in a way that's like such a need in my life right now.
Real life.
It's real life. And I understand why my community is so, like, there are so many moms in my community because they need quick, healthy dinner on the table. And like, it cannot take 4 hours.
Yeah. No.
So the framework was there and I was really grateful for that.
Were there any times where you like, "Ugh, okay, this is so hard? Like I can only imagine. So my entrepreneurial chapter came after I had kids when it came to social media and everything that I'm doing. We are hoping to expand next year. So I will hopefully be, in that chapter again soon. But I've never been in a situation where I've been in the newborn phase trying to juggle entrepreneurial life and all the things going on. And what you said about survival, like those first 8 to 12 weeks, pure survival. It's so hard. And it's like anybody listening that's in that, it's like, just keep going. You're doing a great job. Just keep going. It's like the light is at the end of the tunnel. As beautiful as it is, it's also very hard. Like, did you find yourself in any of those challenging days or periods of time where you're like, how do I balance all of this?
Definitely. I had a complete identity meltdown in those early postpartum months because I had so strongly identified with how much I was producing with my output. And I didn't even realize until my output was stripped away and I had no capacity how strongly my identity was tied to that. So it was actually a really good reset for me to be like, your worth is not in how much you produce. It's not in how much content you put out. It's not in how many deals that you bring in. It's not in comments or anything that is external. Like I had to learn again how to find my worth internally. But I had a really, really hard time, and I've been very open on social media about how difficult new motherhood was for me. I think probably every new mom has some variation of thinking that they have a really difficult baby. So I definitely fall in that camp where I had a baby that was crying if awake, and we just did not have answers. It was like, she was just a really uncomfortable baby. She had a lot of gas. I'm just like totally putting her on blast. Someday she's going to listen to
that was
this.
like my first. I feel that though. It's so hard.
It's really, really
'Cause
hard.
they can't communicate. You're like, what's going on?
And like nothing would work. We were taking her, she was doing chiropractic every week and cranial sacral therapy every week. And we had a lactation consultant, a feeding specialist, pediatrician. Like everyone was at our house every week, all of these appointments. And nothing was helping. Eventually, she just needed to grow out of her silent reflux. So once we hit 12 weeks, things got a lot easier. And then 15 weeks, there was another big hurdle where things got easier again. So I will just reiterate what you said. Like if you're a new mom and you're in those first 3 months, like it's so brutal. And I know everyone's going to tell you to like cherish it. You're going to look back on this and miss it. And like that really minimized what I was going through at the time.
I know.
Because like, of course, you're not going to not cherish it. And feeling like it's hard doesn't mean you're not cherishing it.
No. And I will say too, it's okay to be like fully present in those dark moments. Like I remember when I had my second, and I mean, I was going through a whole identity phase because that was like the year I got divorced, or like year prior, but like trying to figure out what my life looked like and in my marriage and work and handling too. It was just a lot. And I remember like I had finally just put my youngest down for a nap, and I just like went into the closet and just bawled my eyes out into the dirty clothes, like, and screamed in the dirty clothes pile of just, and I remember just sitting there and being like, okay, let myself have this moment. I'm gonna pull myself together and keep moving forward, and it's gonna be okay. Like, but it's okay to have those moments where you're like, this is freaking hard.
Oh my gosh, so hard. And where you genuinely question, like, can I do this?
Can you do this?
Am I the right mother for this child? Like that was a really, really dark thought that I had. And I remember sobbing to my neighbor. Shout out to Meg. You're an angel. But sobbing to her in the driveway about that very thing. Like, I don't feel like I'm capable of being her mother because I don't know what to do. I don't know how to make her feel better and to remove this pain from her. And I remember Meg telling me, like, that is such a lie. Do not speak that over yourself. And it was really, really sweet.
There's the imposter syndrome.
Oh, yeah. The imposter syndrome definitely shows up in motherhood, too.
It does. And I feel like that's just ingrained within us, though, as mothers, like how we just want to give and be the best to our kids, right? Like, I think that we as women are designed to be built that way. And it can be a lot, but.
Do you still deal with mom guilt?
I do.
Yeah.
And I think now, too, it's, for me, I went from working, I'm sure my people I worked with are going to like laugh at me on this one. But like, I mean, I was in pharmaceutical sales where like, you're not working long hours. Okay. Like you're really not. Like you have your 9 to 5, you drive to your doctor's office, you bring them coffee, you bring them lunch, you tell them about these amazing meds and how they can change patients' lives. And then you go home, you shut your computer and you're done, you know? And now I'm in a job where I'm producing a brand, has so many different parts of business that will never shut off, you know? And it's a 24-hour clock just on repeat. And I have to quite literally make myself shut it down. And I think that I've learned like the past couple of years to try to learn how to balance that, because it went from the first 3 years of my oldest's life, I was, you know, super present all the time. Like, I mean, just available for anything and everything. And then I went through a divorce, changed my career, and kind of was learning how to do this new life. And I've just learned how to balance my time a lot better. So to answer your question, there are still moments that I find myself thinking work and being in work mode and having to learn how to shut that off. And that's where the guilt comes from, because I'm like, gosh, I remember there was a time where it was just, you know, just me and him and then my youngest. And I didn't really have any other worry in the world. And now it's like I have this new baby with this beautiful career I've built, but it's like, how do you balance it all? And I feel like there'll always be guilt that comes from that. And that's okay, though. That shows me that I'm human, you know?
And that you care.
And that I care.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see if I can get to a point where it's like I feel good in the balance, but it's still hard at times.
I would love to graduate from mom guilt.
Yeah. It's so difficult, right?
It's so
and
hard.
I know moms listening to this are probably like, yep, I feel it too. And everybody's might look different, right?
Yeah.
Depending on what your life looks like. But
Yeah. I did not think that that was something that I was going to struggle with because, I don't know, it just seems a lot of times it feels illogical. Like, why would I feel guilty about doing a workout?
Yeah.
When that is going to make me show up as a better mom.
Yes.
It's just, it's
so
this
where
strange
does
cycle.
your guilt lie within? The workouts, like self-care?
I think self-care would be one. The amount of time I spend working would be another, which, I mean, I work significantly less than I used to. I used to work around the clock. I loved it. It was very 7 days a week. And now, like, I take real weekends and I'm present with my daughter. So that is a really positive change. But, like, even cutting back and really prioritizing when I'm going to be working, like, I feel the illogical part of mom guilt for me is that I don't think there would ever be enough that I could do for her that would make me not feel guilt anymore. So that's really strange to me.
Yeah. And I feel that too. I think what's wild for me is just seeing how quickly it goes by, you know, of just like, they literally grow up before your eyes. Like, how is my oldest already 6 when, like, I remember he was like, I had 2 COVID babies, bless. But, but like,
did you deliver without
so
having, or did you do a home birth?
I did homework with my second because I had my first in the hospital and like, I wanted to do a natural birth, but he was sunny side up and, it was just, not the best situation. He was healthy. I was healthy and it worked out great. But my second, I was like, okay, I'm going to do this differently. I was planning on delivering in a birth center and it was during COVID and they were like, well, you're still going to have to wear a mask. And I was like, there's no way I'm going to wear a mask while delivering my baby. So I guess I'm going to try to do this at home. And so I did and it was beautiful. It was like the most amazing thing. I actually took this like pain-free home birth course for like months where it's just like a lot of like daily meditation and like preparing your body to deliver naturally. And it was a wild experience. But you delivered naturally too, right?
I did a home birth as well.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. That, I think we had very different experiences.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
I mean, on paper, very positive outcome.
Yeah.
So it was just, I never want to scare anyone away from doing.
Like everybody's
I think it's
experience
really
is different.
positive to have like 2 very different experiences of home birth. But it was traumatizingly painful for me.
So sorry.
So I know that there was, you didn't experience pain, which is amazing.
It was also my second though.
Maybe I experienced your pain and my pain. It was like, it was insane. And that was another thing that I felt like, I don't know, I think I'm still rewriting that birth experience because I was even talking to my husband about this last night. I left that experience thinking, so going into it, I thought I'm going to feel so empowered.
Yeah.
Like this is going to be the coolest thing I've ever done. It's going to be so empowering. I'm going to feel like I can conquer anything. And I actually had the opposite experience coming out on the other side because it broke me down to my core in such a way that made me question myself. And like, I started to doubt myself after that and think, oh, like I felt like I couldn't do it. Like I couldn't achieve a pain-free birth, or it was really strange to come out on the other side of that and not feel remotely like what I thought I was going to feel. I think everyone has like the birth experience that they needed to have. Like it teaches you something.
Well, and that was like my first, and I like I felt that way around my first, like wanting to do natural, and it didn't work out the way I wanted. And it was quite literally, I mean, just it's not to scare anybody, because like I had one very painful birth and then the second one was not. But you know, it was like I was like, holy cow, like it was like to the point of like me blacking out, painful, you know?
Yeah.
Because it was like hitting that nerve, because he was sunny side up.
It was unmedicated.
The first one was until I couldn't do it no longer.
Yeah.
And couldn't do it no longer. I don't know why I said it like that. That's like not proper grammar. Until I could not do it any longer.
Using the old English.
Yeah, I know. I was like, that's interesting. Flashback to like 1800s. So, and then I got the epidural, because like mine was, she had swept my membranes the week before my body was ready. So it was like I was contracting, but never, what do you call it, dilating, right? And so it was like the baby was trying to come, but like I wasn't open, like I couldn't come. So I had to go on like Pitocin and all the things and epidural, and then it was fine. But yeah, so I'm so sorry you had that experience though. I know that's, I mean, it's beautiful in its own way, but
exactly.
I know
there is
it's heavy
beauty in it. It is. And I think that, you know, before we hopefully have a second someday, I think it'll be important for me to do some sort of therapy around it.
Yeah.
And just like rewrite the narrative.
Yeah.
Because our minds are so incredibly powerful. And I need to learn how to think about it in a very different way. And I'm glad that, you know, I think a lot of time when people come on podcasts, there's a finished story with a fancy bow.
Yeah.
And like, this is how they got to this successful point. And you're very much finding me in a season where like, I do not have all the answers. And I still feel shaken from that experience. And there's not a tidy bow around it.
And I think that is completely okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's super brave and admirable of you to like share that story, because I know there's other women listening to this. Maybe they didn't have a home birth. Maybe they had a hospital birth, or they're in the thick of motherhood in the newborn phase that are feeling the same way.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, it's okay to feel that way, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I know that you take this mentality too, but it's like, if this can help one person.
Oh, absolutely.
And I know that there's totally someone out there listening that had a similar experience to me. And it's like, maybe they also felt like a failure after. Like, oh, I didn't prepare enough. Like the 12 weeks of class I took, it wasn't enough. The breath work I did, it wasn't enough. The prayers, that like everything, just when will I ever feel like what I did was enough?
And I think it's good to share these stories, because there is so, and trust me, like when I was like practicing meditation and all the things and breath work months leading up, it was like I was listening to all of these home birth stories. Like I listened to this one podcast and it was all home birth stories.
Oh, wow.
And there was never like story as raw as what you shared. Like it all kind of, like you said, had that like happy ending with the bow on top. And it's like, we need to hear more of like the raw stories of, you know, it was traumatic and painful and, you know, I doubted myself, whatever that may be, because it's like that can also be somebody's reality. So I think it's healthy to hear both.
Yeah, I think I attached myself so heavily to like super positive stories going in, and it wasn't even part of my reality that it could be maybe not a great experience. Like we prepared obviously for having to be transferred. We live 6 minutes from a hospital, so it was like that was always part of the equation. But
did you transfer?
no.
Okay, so
But I just didn't prepare for it to be as traumatic as it was.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
I was like, no, it's going to be amazing. Like, I'm going to feel like an absolute rock star. And maybe someday I will.
Yeah, and well, exactly. And I will say, this is not be for everybody, but first is always your body's trying to figure out.
That's what so many people told me. They were like, what the heck? You did a unmedicated home birth for
That's
your
insane.
first?
I mean, insane. And like, wow. Like it's impressive that, you know, because a lot of people don't even try to attempt that. But, you know, I think our bodies are obviously designed and capable, but there's so many other factors to it, you know, and it's like when you set expectations and then those aren't met, like that can do a lot to your psyche.
Mm-hmm.
So
Totally.
I think therapy, you know, Like you said, it might be good.
A little dose of therapy do me good.
I definitely did some in between my 2 pregnancies because I had a lot of fear of like if I could do it because it's like I couldn't even do like a hospital birth with an epidural. So
I can see how
yeah.
the birth experience for women can really write a strong narrative.
Yeah.
Like I've seen it with some women I've spoken to that, you know, maybe they gave birth 30 years ago and they're still working through the birth experience. It's so transformational.
Yeah. I will say it's the hardest thing I've ever done. I've done some hard things.
Yeah.
From races
you're
to
not
tattoos
shy you're not shy. You don't shy away from hard things.
Yeah. So I think it's just amazing. Whatever birth that a woman takes, approach, it's amazing. And at the end of the day, what our bodies can do. So
I remember the only marathon I've ever run was the Chicago Marathon. And
I
these
didn't
women
know you did a marathon.
I did,
That's so
yeah.
cool.
I ran cross country and track in college. So it was like, if you don't end up doing a marathon after, you're going to get the question forever. Like, oh, did you run a marathon?
You have to check it off.
You have to check it. So I did the Chicago Marathon and it was like mile 18 when you're just dying. And I saw these women holding this sign that was like, if you think this is hard, try giving birth. And I was like, there's something harder than this? Like,
Yeah.
At that point, I was like, oh, dang, giving birth sounds like terrible.
Now you've done both.
Now I've done both. And I can confidently say that for my experience, giving birth was like running a marathon every day for a week. Like it was insane.
It's a wild experience.
It is.
Just like being able to feel all of that.
Yeah.
Like it's
oh my gosh, you feel
the ring of fire.
all of it.
Yeah, that's the one thing I did feel. Like it was a lot of pressure, but then the ring of fire, I was like, I feel like I'm like, sorry, trigger warning, TMI, but I feel like I'm being split open right now.
That was the only thing I didn't feel.
What?
I remember, it's also possible that I was in so much pain that it kind of all blended together.
Yeah, or like your body like numbed it or something in a
I don't
sense?
specifically remember the ring of fire. I just remember like I was in transition for 4 hours.
Okay, that's the hardest part.
Oh my gosh.
And if it's 4 hours?
Supposed to be like in my birth class, they were like, it'll be anywhere from 20 minutes to an hour.
Mine was 30 minutes. And it was like, that's when you're like nauseous and it's basically where the baby drops down completely into the, I don't know what you call it, but
all the way into
where your vagina opens and you push the baby out. But I like, because you're super nauseous and it's just a lot.
I projectile vomited and
oh my God, bless your heart.
It was so long. And like leading up to transition, I was like, oh my gosh, I've got this. This is like, it's hard, but it's so doable. And like, I'm stronger than this. I can do this. I hit transition. And for the first hour, I was still like, I can do this. I can do this. I'm strong. And then like those next 3 hours
that's a long time.
Trying to get to 10 centimeters. Oh my gosh. Like I was shaking. I was so weak. And then I pushed for 2 hours. So it was like 6 hours of like really, really excruciating,
that's so intense, Olivia.
Doubting myself, like thinking, oh my gosh, can I not do this? It was like really the first time in my life I ever thought I can't do this.
Yeah.
So it was intense. This whole podcast is becoming my birth story. I'm sorry.
But no, I think it's so important that people listen to this, because I've talked about mine and like talked about and I'm not trying to say this to be like, well, this is my experience and, this is going to be everybody's because it's not. But like, mine was very quick. I had like a 2-hour labor and delivery.
Gosh.
It was super quick.
Blessed.
It was also my second. Who knows? Blah, blah, blah. Everybody's different. But it's good to share these raw stories. So I really commend you for sharing this. And
well, thank you.
Yeah. It's wild what we go through.
It is. Oh my gosh. I was talking to someone about this recently, but we didn't do a push present because I was like, oh, my present is this baby.
Yeah.
Like,
now you're like, we need one.
Oh my gosh. Kyle gave me a delayed push present a couple weeks ago and I'm like, yeah, I deserve that.
You're like, plus more. Okay. A push present for each hour. So
each hour of excruciating pain. So like I need 6 push presents.
Well, thank you for sharing that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Switching gears. I want to talk about what's next for you because I feel like just from all of your like e-cookbooks to your recipes, just like business endeavors, motherhood, like you're doing so many things. Do you have anything like planned for the future or what's your next big thing?
I feel like I'm always in this cycle of as soon as I finish one big thing, I'm really bad about this. I don't fully celebrate it because I'm already on to the next. I'm like, okay.
That's an entrepreneur for you.
It is. Yeah. Like it's just in my DNA to just kind of blow past milestones and already be thinking like fully absorbed into the next thing. So For the past year, I have been working on a physical cookbook. So I have 2 ebooks.
Right.
And now I'm working on a physical cookbook. That won't launch until March of 27. So traditional publishing takes a long time.
I didn't realize it takes that long.
It takes a little over 2 years. So I signed a deal with like my dream publisher last November. I think this podcast is probably coming out in January. So yeah, a while ago. It's been a long time
Congratulations,
already. Thank
though.
you. I actually just submitted the 100th recipe last week.
Is that so? It's gonna be 100.
100 recipes.
And are these like recipes that you've shared before?
No. So there will be like, I think in my contract with my publisher, I'm allowed to have 12 like crowd favorites that just my community loves. So 12 recipes that people absolutely love and adore. And it's going to be, ideally the cookbook is finding a new audience. So it's, these will be new recipes to most of the people buying the cookbook.
Is that hard though when you're like making these recipes because you're like, I just want to share this now?
Oh my gosh, that has been such a push and pull.
You have to wait 2 years.
2 years. So you're doubling your work with like coming up with new recipes.
Yeah.
One thing that really helped, which if there are other cookbook authors out there, like this was always so confusing to me. Like, how do you choose not to share a recipe? What do you post on social media? Blah, blah, blah. Having the chapters in the cookbook like super tight and dialed in so that, say one of my chapters was 20-minute meals. Well, I'm not going to share any 20-minute meals to Instagram. I'll let my content on Instagram fall within different verticals when it comes to recipes.
There's no crossover.
So there's no crossover.
And temptation.
Exactly. So I'm not like, oh my gosh, I really want to share this. Like, it's so good. I know this will be like so viral, because you're kind of saving, like, it feels like you're saving the best for later.
Yeah.
But it has really been liberating to be like, okay, well, this doesn't fit squarely into one of my chapters. Of course, I'm going to share it then to my Instagram, so it doesn't feel like I'm saving all the juiciest recipes. Yeah.
Question for you when it comes to the recipes, because I've always wondered this. Like, I'll share recipes. I'll try it maybe like once and then be like, okay, I probably need to change up here. And then I'll make the recipe and post it like after I've tasted it and make sure it's good. So it's usually like 1 to 2 trials. Do you go through a lot of different like trials of your recipe before you post?
Sometimes it depends on the recipe. So I'm trying to think if there's one I've made recently that was like tried it once and it was incredible, so I didn't feel like I need. Well, occasionally that'll happen. Basically, is my point. Like every now and then.
That's usually like 2 or 3 times. Would you say?
And like with baked goods.
Oh, that's hard because then you
like 7.
Yeah.
Like I'll make the same thing so many times with baked goods
because you can't like add to it after it's already done. At least with like
so
soups
dialed.
and stews and things like that, you can kind of like add seasonings, whatever, and be like, okay, this is the right consistency.
Totally. So it really depends on the recipe, and then something like a chicken salad. Like I know I'm pretty much gonna nail that.
You have some great chicken salads.
I love a chicken
salad. And speaking of the one that you went with viral, the avocado egg one.
Yeah, avocado egg salad. Yeah,
that's a good one.
Yeah, that was really good.
I feel like everybody loves avocado.
I know, and like I'm not a mayo fan, so I love a mayo-less egg salad or chicken salad.
Do you do the avocado mayo or none?
I will. This is like really bad press for avocado mayo. I think it tastes disgusting.
I love the transparency here.
I do not like it at all. And there are some really good brands that make like apparently some really good avocado mayo.
But you just can't do it.
I do not like them. So I'm like, okay, that's just not my lane.
Okay, so what is your alternative for mayo?
I'll use Greek yogurt or like a dairy-free Greek style yogurt. Or I made a chicken salad recently with hummus as a binder. I used hummus and yogurt, and like that was really good. So I just try to get creative with like the binder, but like avocado mayo, I'm sorry, I just can't do it.
That is so when I'm using it in high quantities, it kind of grosses me out.
Yes, it has such a specific flavor profile, and it just like really overwhelms.
Yeah, I usually will mix mine with like Greek yogurt or something and do like
a little more protein,
1/4 ratio. You know what I mean? That way it's not so overpowering. But yeah, maybe I need to try like doing a different binder like you said.
I know. I'm like, I'm getting creative over here because the avocado mayo, just not it for me. But to your question of like what's coming next, at the time of this podcast recording, like I haven't launched or I haven't talked about what I'm launching next. But by the time it comes out, it's going to be out. So we're just going to talk about it.
Can we share? What is it?
So I am going to be the founder of a beauty brand. It's going to be very skin supportive color cosmetics. We're launching with 3 products.
Oh my goodness.
And I probably won't
Congratulations.
talk about what the specific products are until after we really get into the nitty gritty of the launch. But it has been, let's see, we're going on like 8 months now of development of these products and like working with a formulator and different labs. We actually just locked formulas for the 3 products 2 weeks ago, which was super, super exciting because there was so much back and forth, so many samples. And yeah, that was a
What a
really
good
big
feeling.
milestone. Oh my
I
gosh.
think,
That's
well,
a big
first off,
milestone.
congratulations.
Thank
I
you.
also feel like people don't realize like it takes time to formulate
gosh.
and sampling.
To do it
and
right, like as with anything, and my philosophy is very much like, if you're going to do it right, it should take time. Like you should be very proud on the other side of this, of what comes out, because it was hard. It required a new version of you. Like I had to learn so much about formulating skincare and beauty products. And thankfully I worked with an exceptional product developer. She just was a great guide for this whole process. She has incredible industry experience, specifically formulating over-the-counter skincare products and color cosmetics. So she was able to blend that hybrid experience into like super, super skin nourishing makeup products. And I am so excited to bring them to life. Like I feel so proud of this endeavor.
So excited. Okay, are you allowed to say, is it more like skincare or makeup or both?
So it's really both, honestly. So my whole philosophy around food started as a way to heal my acne from the inside out. And then I really found that in my 20s, I just couldn't really play in the makeup world. I just felt like I had to miss out on that part of girlhood because everything broke me out. I have very acne prone skin, so I couldn't use a lot of what was on the market. And when I started to do content creation, pursue it full time, I had to be on the camera all the time. So I was like, okay, I need to learn how to do my makeup and I need to learn what products I can use because I want to like do myself up for camera. Like that's really fun. So started to learn more about skincare, about why specific beauty products were breaking me out. And that's when I would find like super niche products, like one from this brand, or like I can mix these two and get the outcome that I want. And I started talking to my business coach actually in February of last year of 25. And I told her like, I really want to make this specific product. And she was like, do you want to make a product or do you want to start a company? Because it's a very different thing. Like, do you want to just make a one and done product? Or is this an ethos that you want to carry into a complete product line? And do you want to transform your skin, people's skin through these products and have like a legacy? And I was like, oh my gosh, I definitely want the latter. Like, I don't want to just make one product and be done. I want to have this whole brand of like super skin nourishing color cosmetics that women can feel so confident wearing, that are going to be long lasting. Because that's another thing about clean beauty is like,
yeah, it's hard to find ones that last.
Yeah, it'll be really, really cute for 5 minutes. And then I'm like, oh, it's gone.
Or the pigment's not great or whatever.
So I should send you tester products though.
I'm like, please.
I will.
I love my makeup.
I know. I love that about you, that you just
Yeah.
you're so put together.
Well,
It doesn't
thank you.
matter like if you're going to the gym, if like you're going for a run. I know you talked about on your podcast how people were like commenting on you running in makeup and like,
Yeah.
I love it. I think that's such a fun part of girlhood.
It really is. And it's a fun way to like accentuate ourselves and be creative.
Yeah.
And, it's like I was interviewing somebody else recently and they said that, putting on makeup isn't a way to like hide your beauty, but a way to like, just take it to the next level.
Totally.
It's
I
fun.
definitely feel that in early motherhood too,
Mhm.
because as I'm sure you know, those first 3 months of survival, you're just like
When you look in the mirror, you're like, I
I don't know that person.
either look homeless, not myself, like what's happening?
Yeah. So taking like 5 to 10 minutes to feel like myself, put myself together, it was so good for my mental health. And that's when it really hit for me that like makeup is not about vanity. It's a lot of times about the internal of like how you want to present yourself to yourself. Like I wouldn't even
To your
go
stuff,
anywhere.
I know. It's just those. And I love that too, because I see people do like their own makeup in different ways and styles. And it's like, that's so cool that people can, you know, be creative and play with their makeup in their own way that they can express themselves.
Totally.
Like, that's
yeah,
the beauty
such
of
a
it.
form of expression. I love it.
Yeah. Well, I'm so excited for you.
Thank
Okay. Well, I would
you.
love to try some samples. I'm
send
your
them
biggest
too.
supporter.
Oh, thank
I
you.
love that. Like, seriously, though, especially that it's like rooted from passion. Because I know I've talked about this before, but it's like with anything that you do in life, with work or creating a brand or whatever, it's like when there's passion there to lift it, it's like the sky's the limit.
Totally. That's one thing I've definitely figured out in this career is there are so many opportunities. As you know, there's so many things that you can pour yourself into. Like, you know, you grew your community and now you have a podcast, and that has been an exceptional outlet for you. And like you were saying, it's your favorite thing that you get to do. Well, you could be spending your time doing so many other things, but you have a passion for this, and that's why you're so good at it. And for me, it's like there are a lot of ways that I can flow my energy into different projects, but I'm really learning how to really like tighten where my capacity is going. And so only things that I'm super passionate about are going to rise to the top and are going to be where I end up pouring my energy. And this is definitely like this and motherhood are like the biggest outpouring of energy right now, for sure. I love it.
I love that. Okay, well, I cannot wait to like hear more
Yeah,
details,
I know.
and I know you'll probably be sharing sooner than later. Okay, well, I feel like this next question kind of seamlessly transitions well. Obviously, the show is around empowerment, and I always like to ask my guests what empowerment means to them. So, I would love for you to share.
Yeah, for me, empowerment means having the tools to unlock the best version of myself. And I feel like our philosophies really marry well. Like you're all about empowerment. I'm about giving people, like my tagline for my recipes is effortless recipes for a full and vibrant life. And like the recipes are the tool to unlocking a vibrant life. And even when it comes to like the beauty brand that I'm launching, the beauty products are just the tool to unlocking clearer skin, which makes you show up as a more vibrant version of yourself, makes you not want to hide, makes you excited for the day. Like it's just those simple tools and strategies to enable someone to be the best version of themselves.
I love that. How cool is it that we get to have this career to help people?
Oh, I'm grateful every day.
It's me too.
It's amazing.
And I'm really big on like practicing daily gratitude. And that's like one thing I say is like, thank you for this career of mine. Because it's like, we get to help people be their best version of themselves. It's so cool.
Yeah, what an honor.
It really is. Well, I just adore you. I will say even like our meetings like on Instagram and messages and stuff, like I just sensed your energy. Like you're truly like a ray of sunshine. But I love the rawness and realness that you came into this conversation with. And I just want to say thank you for sharing. And I know like so many listeners are going to be able to relate and resonate. So thank you for being so authentic.
Well, thank you for such a great conversation. This has been amazing.
Well, we'll have to get you back on when the brand is launched
Yes.
and talk all the specifics
I would
and
love
see
that.
where motherhood's at.
Yes.
Thanks, Olivia.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with a friend. It really helps us grow and bring you more great content. See you guys next week.